Hey friends, it's your buddy Keith again here at Essex Recording Studios just outside London in England. And as promised, I'm doing a video today of my small collection of Zakk Wylde Epiphone Les Pauls. And the purpose of this video is not to gloat, although they are pretty awesome, but to show you the subtle differences between the earlier Korean models and the later Chinese models. There are many fakes, replicas, recreations floating about out there, and you want to spend your hard-earned cash on getting the correct, proper, right, genuine article, and this video is going to help you discern which one is what. Okay, so straight off the bat, let's talk about pickups, very fast. Korean early models had EMG HZ pickups, all right? Those are passives. And the later Chinese models have the Zakk Wylde active EMG 85 and 81 combo. Cool. There's a difference. Headstock logos. On the later Chinese models, look at the N. The edge of the N gets cut off. On the earlier Korean models, you have a different logo. It's longer. So don't think that you're looking at one, oh, the logo's wrong. You know, they all are mother of pearl. The diamond, the logo, it's all mother of pearl, which is hard to see in this light sometimes. The spacing can be different. You can see the spacing here to here on this camo model is different from, say, here to the P there. Again, it's a different logo. You've got on the white Bullseye one, it's even closer on that one. And look on this white Bullseye one. Look at how far apart that is. So the spacing is not precise on every single one. You know, there are variations, there are differences. Let's check out the top of the headstock. So I've noticed on the Chinese models, you have more of a curve and a small point. This is a Chinese 2011. This is a Chinese 2013. On the Korean models, you have a very sharp point. Look at the difference. Look at how those arches go up and how sharp that point is there. Okay? Versus that. It's totally different. So the headstock shapes are a little bit different. Neck construction. On the Korean models, such as this Buzzsaw, all the Korean guitars I've seen have a scarf joint on the neck. So if we flip this one around, there we go, you'll see scarf joint. Cool. Just the lighting there so you can see it a little bit better. Not the best lighting. But anyway, yes, so the Korean models have a scarf joint. Here's another Korean model. Same thing, you can see it quite well there. All right, the Chinese models, like this camo, have a one-piece maple neck. No scarf joint. No scarf joint. All right, so that's helpful. Control cavity covers. Obviously, because the Chinese models come with the active pickups, we've got a battery cover there and there. And that's what it should look like. I would imagine the fakes probably don't have that. It's probably a little too rich for them. But that's what it looks like. All of the necks have a block heel support construction. I don't really know the proper term for that. I think it's been said block heel. But yeah, that's what it is. Serial numbers. So the Korean guitars start with a U, and you can see the font is nice and thick. Like, look at the left side of that U. It's very thick. On the fakes, it will be very thin and a bit taller. But that's what the font is consistently on the Korean guitars. And that's because the letter U, I think, is the first letter of the name of the factory in Korea. It's like Usong or something like that. The Chinese guitars start with a number, and this is what the font looks like for them. But if we can just focus, please, camera. Thank you very much. Nope, doesn't want to cooperate. Come on now. There we go. So that's what it looks like there. Now these guitars were made for like a decade. I think we have a 2003 and this is a 2013. Things change over a decade. Grover tuner fonts aren't exactly the same on all of these. Close, but let's see, there's that one. There's that one. That one there. That one there. You can see quite a difference between this one and this one. Look at the spacing between the G and the R. So don't think just because you're seeing a guitar that, or this 2013 one, same thing, that it's a fake because the font doesn't match exactly. The font's changed over the years, and there's probably, if I had to guess, Grovers that get made for the Chinese market are not the same Grovers that get made for the USA built guitars. There's probably different classes of Grovers that go out in the casting and quality work and machine work of the cheaper Grovers. It's probably not as nice. But still good, very functional. And I could be totally wrong. That's just my guess, you know, as to why you see variations. Plus, you know, people upgrade machines. They change settings in the factories, and you're going to get little variations. Now, the next thing to go over, the man on the back. I've heard a lot of talk about this man on the back. So here he is here. Now, what I have seen is 3 circles on most of the real ones, and they're all generally blotchy like that. All of the white Bullseye ones are. So there's a white Bullseye one. Here's a white Bullseye one. I'll get to this one later. And here's another Korean one. You can see the scarf joints on the back there. He's all blotchy on the Korean one. I think, let's check out this Korean one. Is it blotchy on this one too? Blotchy on this one too. That's on the Korean made ones. So they're all blotchy. On the Chinese made Epiphones, they're more crisp. And I think they have more circles as well. So on this one, you've got a nice crisp line there with 1, 2, 3, 4, looks like, including the middle. And the middle one is hollow. You see that. And then on this one, you've got the middle one, if you count that, 1, 2, 3, 4. So they're more crisp on the Chinese models. The binding on all of the Korean models and all the real ones are thin on the headstock, like that. The fakes, sometimes you'll see the binding go all the way like halfway through the guitar. The Chinese ones are a little bit thicker, not much, still quite thin, but they're just a hair. If you look at that one there, and then this one here, just a little bit thicker. That one's Chinese, and the Camo's Chinese built. All real. These are all real guitars, guys. Stickers on the back. For the made in Korea, I've seen 2 types. So you've got this with the CE and the garbage can, made in Korea, and then you've got this gold and black one. All right, this is 2003, it looks like, 2008 there. On the, oh, here's a Chinese one. This Chinese one has a quality control inspection. So there's a sticker that comes on that one. On the special graphic finishes, we've got limited edition custom shop, limited edition custom shop. The font is not the same. Again, this was made in China. This was made in Korea. You can see, let me just take a look here. On the later Chinese one, the logo's bigger. It's a lot bigger. So there's my finger there. Okay. There's my finger there. Got it. What else? I've never seen a white Bullseye with this limited edition custom shop thing on it. The fakes, I see it a lot. And I've also seen on the forums people say, oh, if it has this on the back, it's a fake, it's not real. It's not the case, it's just the camo and the buzzsaw finishes have that. I think we're covering just about all the bases, guys. The input jacks on the Chinese models are slightly smaller, if I'm not mistaken. And then I also noticed on the Chinese models, if you look at the Korean ones, the binding is very flush with the edge of the neck. There. There. And there. Very flush. On the Chinese models, a little bit of a gap. So you see that small gap there, not so flush. And on this one, not so flush. They all have this kind of edge here where the paint or wrap, whatever this is, kind of curls up against the neck. All of them have that. That's the Japanese, the Korean ones, the Chinese ones. Yeah, you see what I'm saying right there where it goes up like that? They all have that. There you go. Cool. I think that covers pretty much everything. Fonts, I think we discussed, right? Again, the U is very thick on the Korean ones. The Chinese ones, you can see the spacing and the proper font there. Been rambling on here for a bit. I don't know if I told you in this take about the difference between the Korean headstock and the Chinese headstock, but they are shaped a little bit differently, and the logos are a bit different. The earlier Korean ones have the long N. The newer Chinese ones do not. The earlier Korean ones have a sharp point and two high arches. The Korean ones are more rounded, a little more subtle there. I'll show you this. Excuse me. This is the Chinese one. This is the Korean one. Another Chinese to show you again. High arches, sharper point, or excuse me, getting all backwards here. Chinese, mild arches, small point. Korean, high arches, sharp point. Chinese, mild arches, small point. All right, Chinese, Korean, Chinese, this one around, Korean. Cool. So we've got those out of the way. Anything else to go over? The pickup ring, not supposed to be there. Zakk doesn't use them. They're not on any of his guitars. However, this is just quality control in China. They do leave the factory from time to time with that ring on. And in Epiphone's own advertising for both that model and the Bullseye, I've seen print advertising with that ring on. So don't freak out if it's there. And there's always a chance that the guy that had it before you or before him put it there. You know, it is a warning sign, but look at the rest. You can see the spacing between the stop tail piece and the bridge. On the fakes, it's generally a lot farther apart. The fakes on these are usually red and not bright orange like this. Probably just couldn't get that pigment right. I don't know, but and then no scarf joint. Anything with a U serial number, if there's no scarf joint on the back, it ain't real, guys. Even in the later number convention, there we go. Here's an 08, but still made in Korea. This is a late Korean model, so it still has the scarf joint. So it's not until, oh, and on the Korean model, it's kind of like a sticker, the serial number there. Whereas on the Chinese model, it's just printed on. So I think that covers everything, guys. I hope that gives you some insight into what these should look like up close and personal. You can see where all of the knobs are and, you know, where the rings show up on each of these models. The back ones are Korean and 03, 08. What I'll do now is I'll just slowly go over each one, and then that way you guys can pause it or fast forward or whatever, so you can compare it. If you've got an 08, well, we've got an 08. If there's a 2003 you're looking at, well, there's one over there, you know. So that's what we'll do. Oh, and the last thing I'll say is I've got a real Gibson custom shop camo model. On the Epiphones, the camo is quite sharp, and it looks good. On the Gibson one, the camo is blurry on the edges, kind of fuzzy and out of focus. That's what it looks like. So that does look different. So if you've seen a Gibson one, don't think that your Epiphone one is fake because the camo looks different. It is different. Yeah, guys, I think that covers most of it. So what we'll do is we'll just scroll down these. This is the 2013 Chinese. All right. This is a 2007 Korean buzzsaw. And we've got a 2011 camo. There we go. And this is a 2004 Korean Bullseye. The whites are all like an antique, slightly off-white or aged white. It's not bright, bold, vibrant white. The fakes, you'll see that. This is a 2008 Korean. All right. And then the 2003. Awesome. And don't worry if like a knob isn't exactly in the same exact spot on a stripe as the one you're looking at. If we look at all of these, they generally are a little bit, but like on this Chinese one, this knob isn't quite as into the stripe as this early Korean one is. You know, so again, they're all indicators, guys, but at the end of the day, these are put together by human beings. Not everything's perfect and exact. And yeah, that's it. Just use some common sense. And if you still don't know, hit me up. I'll always give you my 2 cents, my input. And the forums, guys, the forums online are a great source of help and information. Lots of answers out there. So Google is your friend. The forums are your friend. I think my Les Paul is one of the good ones. Cool. That's 20 minutes, guys. I think this is the longest video for the channel. I'm going to sign off here. I hope you enjoyed checking these out with me. And I look forward to showing you some more videos in the future for free. So, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And go over to Facebook, Essex Recording Studios. Give us a like. Instagram, at Essex Recording Studios. Follow us there. And we'll be friends. Let's grow this community, guys. We've got over 250 subscribers in just a couple months. We're on a race to 1,000, and all of your comments, your likes, your support, it all helps make these videos happen. Cool. I'm off, guys. I'll see you soon in the next video with the next guitar.